Guys, welcome back to Handy HQ. It's episode 5 and today it's going to be about setting up a fish pond tower actually in the middle of winter. Not the right time to do it, but let's get out and show you how to do it. Cheers! So this is the pond. Let's head off and see what vases and glasses there are available. You know, a little collection here. You can use a big bowl like this, you can use a fish bowl like that, or even a taller one. That one there is about 70 centimeters tall, but just for demo purposes, let's take this one with us, get rid of the rainwater in it, and we'll head over to the pond. Give you a quick whirl of how it works. Maybe we'll show you in the kitchen sink first before we head to the pond. So I'll quickly show you how to do a fish tower in the kitchen sink. It doesn't really matter how deep it is, but it has to be at least as deep as the diameter of the bowl or vase you're going to use. So what you need first in your pond is some sort of platform that is just below the surface. And just for demonstrations purposes, I'm using a bowl just to create some height. And I'll put that at let's say at the base of the pond. And then I've got this is just a teapot warmer with a tea light, but you need, whatever your platform is, it has to have a hole in it. So we'll sink that down there like that. So the idea is to get it as close to the surface as possible. Then you take your vase or fish bowl or big glass jar. You can hunt around a second-hand shop to find one, and you sink it. So if a pond is dirty, then I actually just put this like this in the pond and fill it up with a hose, and then it sinks itself. But in this case the water is crystal clear, so you want it to be totally in so there's absolutely no bubbles. You don't want any bubbles inside. Then you tip it up slowly like this. You can see I've got some bubbles inside anyway. You can do it properly, and then the idea is, of course, the full-size one is a lot heavier than this. Then you lift it up gently, making sure not to get the lip of the vase outside the water, and put it on the edge of your platform like that. And once it's on the edge, you slowly but surely slide it on, making sure you don't get the edge of the platform outside the water. And Bob's your uncle. There you go. It's now full of water. And just to show you that it works, this is a little bit of cork that is sort of shaped like a fish. And we'll just stick it inside like that. There you go. So let's head out, or actually maybe before we head out, if you want to take it off, because during the summer it tends to get green, so maybe every month or two, then you have to tip it just gently like this. Let the water out slowly, don't tip it all the way, let the water out first, like that, and then take it out, because it's way too heavy if you tip it over completely. So let's head out to the garden. First, have to roll up our sleeves. I've got some pads for my knees, and before you can do this, you need some sort of stool. See, this one's been in here for a few years. You need some sort of stool that you need to put in the base of the pond to get the surface just below the surface of the water. If it's above the water, of course it won't work. And this one is just made out of a bit of reinforcing wrought iron, I think 8mm wrought iron, and not even welded together. It's actually just done with garden, the garden wire that holds plants together. So it was a quick job, thinking it was temporary, but actually it's turned into be permanent. I put some plastic feet on it as well, just to make sure that it doesn't damage the base of the pool, pond at least. And then the surface, you need to have a hole drilled in the surface you're putting it on, because the fish obviously have to be able to come through the bottom of the glass. So this one has 2 holes in it, because originally I had 2 vases, and now I've got just one that sits on top and covers both of them. So, and then I also, on the edges here, just sometimes it's very high wind and you don't want the glass tipping over into your pond. I put some little rubber stops, if you like. They're just bits of rubber hose with the screws screwed into the space. This one's made out of plastic, but you could use Trespa or some other non-rotting material. Wood's not going to work really, so you need something like that. Anyway, then you get it nice and level in the pond somewhere. Yeah, just make sure it's level. If it's not level, then it's going to be standing skew. And the next thing is this one actually needs to be washed out. Anyway, I'll give it a quick rinse. This water is freezing at the moment. This is not the time of the year to be doing this, but I had a few people interested in the shorts, so I thought, well, why not? I'll just do it. So yeah, get it nice and clean. And I'll speed up this section. Basically, just going to fill it up to the brim with fresh water till it's overflowing, and it will sink slowly. Still floating. There you go. Make sure all the bubbles are out of it. Now the idea is tip the vase, get your hand underneath it. This water is freezing at the moment. And then turn it round and get the edge of your glass on the edge of your platform, and make sure it doesn't slip off, and then slowly but surely tip it on, making sure you don't scissor your fingers off in the process. Slide it on. You can sort of roll it like this as well. There you go. She's in situ. There you go. Nice and clean. You can try and get some fish into it, but I'm not sure they'll go into it at this stage. We can try. Just a small handful just to test it. Normally in the summer it's not a big deal at all. Some. Maybe they'll go into it like that and slide it up gently. Making sure you don't do that. Show you the reverse of how this is done. So when you're removing the water, don't just drop it off. Tip it up gently. Put your hand at the bottom here so it doesn't slip. And let the water ride gently. Yeah, the water's a little bit deep at the moment. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Guys, I've just come back a little bit later. A few 10 minutes, and sure, you can see the fish tower has started to fill up with fish. And they're just cruising, even in the middle of winter. They just enjoy cruising above the water for some reason. And of course, the bigger your tower, the more fantastic it looks. So, challenging. Right, that'll call it for today. So, a little bit of pond fun for the summer coming up. If you live in the southern hemisphere, then maybe it's time to juice up your pond. Cheers.